Hi, I'm Terry from Toad Hopper Ranch, and this is what happens when your garden gets out of control and you decide you're going to weed it with the weed eater. Got a few flowers too, but hey, now we can see them. This is Missouri. We grow good weeds and bugs. We had a lot more flowers in here than this, but with the surgery, everything we just let go, and I'm feeling better, so just kind of salvage what we can. This little garden here, I put a lot of work in last fall and this spring. It had trees and everything else growing up. I stuck some lilies and some glads in here among all the peonies and all those beautiful lilies. Some of those lilies we transplanted up front around our mailbox and around our Toad Hopper Ranch sign. They're really beautiful. You don't see too many like that. And these are our custom sunflowers. Our sunflowers didn't turn out real well this year. We got a few good ones, but a lot of them were stunted because of the drought. So this little garden here is looking pretty good now. We've added a lot of manure, some topsoil, some organic matter. Like I said, pulled a lot of trees out of it. It had cherry trees growing out of it.
And these black raspberries are doing pretty well. They were originally next to the house and we moved them. Probably one of the first things we did when we moved here so we could get to the crawl space under the house. Oh, I lost him. Where did he go? There he goes. Over here to the main garden. This area he just weed whacked yesterday. This is where all the onions and garlic were. And we're contemplating on whether to grow something else like beans or something that doesn't take all summer to do, but we have a long growing season.
Yeah, I may put a row of beans in here this afternoon. We'll see. All depends on the bugs and the rain as to how they turn out.
Yeah.
These marigolds here were planted early, but they got taken over by weeds, and they're kind of stunted too.
Yeah, they're still coming up though.
Yeah.
The herb garden is done very well. I'm very happy with that. I have harvested quite a bit of herbs out of here, and I still don't know. I think that's some kind of a flower, but it hasn't produced any blooms yet. And it's in there with some oregano, which didn't do very good. Okra, I've harvested off of that already, and that was a volunteer. I must have dropped some seeds in there accidentally. Thyme, rosemary, arugula has gone to seed, lemon verbena, I harvested yesterday. Somebody just squirted me with the hose. That is hyssop. This is spearmint with some sunflowers growing in it. This is butterfly mint, and it's gone crazy. The bees, I left the flowers on it because the bees, and I think I've even seen a hummingbird over here really like it. The dill is about done. I've been cutting some of that. I've harvested an entire quart jar of nothing but seeds. This is the chamomile, and it's doing really good. I've got to pick all the little flower heads off of there because that's where the tea comes from. This is some sunflowers we stuck in here. Chinese basil and Swiss chard, and there's some beets in there too. I don't know how. This is lima beans. They're just now starting to put on. Lettuce has gone to heck. It does in the heat. It doesn't do well. Our cherry tomatoes, they're producing tomatoes, but it's been so hot that they're tough. So they got tough skin. This is sweet basil. And this got mixed in here. This is something called Jacob's Coat of Many Colors, and it's kind of like a spinach, I think it is. It is edible. I haven't tried it yet, but it got mixed in with this group of things that somebody gave me. Holy basil, and I've been harvesting basil off of both of these plants. My Jacob's tears are a grain, and they get these little balls on them, and I guess you can use them for beads or whatever. I just tried it, so that's why it's in a small bucket. I've got beans. We're not sure what kind. Terry put them in here with some corn so they would climb up the corn, but I don't think they're climbers. And here's another cherry tomato. And some of this stuff is, the bugs have already got to it, but there's still a lot of kale, and we have potatoes, and we have some newer broccoli coming up. Our old broccoli didn't do so well. Brussels sprouts, which are underneath the mesh there to keep the white flies off. Tomatoes are doing good. Got lots of tomatoes, nothing ripe yet. We've got a row of peppers. Terry cleaned them all up one day, and we mulched down around them. Somewhere hidden in there are beets. They got out of control. There's carrots hidden in there. I don't know that they're going to do very well. There are some things we're going to be growing in more containers next year. We have some beans. The deer have nipped on some of those, although Mabel down there is doing her best, but she doesn't always catch everybody. Our corn is only like 5 feet tall at the most, and it has tasseled and grown ears already. I don't know what that's about. I think because of this constant heat, it thinks it's August or something. But I noticed that we have a raccoon in the backyard, and you always have to have a raccoon to tell you when the corn's ready. That's a joke if you've ever grown corn. And
not a very funny one, but it's a joke.
Yeah, if you don't get out here, you lose every single ear in a mate. I don't know how we're going to prevent that, but and then our sunflowers are starting to bloom. The shorter ones are the Van Goghs that we paid like a special donation for a children's camp in Wisconsin. So they are the darker stems. There's one right there. Some of those have bloomed, but everything else is just now coming around. I've already been sweeping up the grass clippings to start putting them around things and building up our soil, especially back in this side and down in that corner, because we expanded the garden a little bit, and where we expanded it was not amended. Then Terry's sunflowers clear up there along that little fence up there by our Toad Hopper Ranch sign, and then there's some in front of the mailbox, or behind the mailbox too, you can't see them. And then he planted this whole row of sunflowers, and they're doing pretty well, except for this one right here, which he over-fertilized and killed it. But he was in here yesterday, I believe, with the weed whacker. The thing is, we have Bermuda grass, and it is very aggressive, and it will completely take over. So here is our, it's rough looking. Probably going to throw some hay down around the remaining plants to keep that grass from growing back up. And it would help if we had some rain to soften up the ground to pull up what's left, but I mean not the flowers, but the grass. Morning Glory is on the tunnel, looking good. There's Joy, mean looking as ever. I swear she watches me. Her head turns and she watches me. More sunflowers here. They're starting to get heads on them, flowers. And these are some of the Van Goghs. They've already come and gone. They didn't last very long. A little disappointed in that. There's another thing of Van Goghs. Our bean tunnel is now actually a bean tunnel. They are growing up over it. We don't have any beans yet to harvest. More sunflowers all the way back there. And then as we go through the tunnel, our zinnias have started blooming. Looking good. They've drawn the butterflies for sure. And I've actually seen some hummingbirds out here. This is zucchini. Gotten a few off of that. I don't know why they're yellow. I've been looking at for stem borers or whatever they call them. Can't find any. This one here, same thing. I actually had to remove some of the dead stuff. Don't know why it's going dead. This is pumpkin, and although it's blooming like crazy, I haven't seen any yet forms of pumpkin. And this is also pumpkin, same kind, and I haven't seen anything except for flowers on it. This was a spaghetti squash, and a big part of it died. Still don't know why. I couldn't find any stem borers, but I did get some spaghetti squash. There's a couple down in there, and I got a couple off of it. And there's I have to go around and show you. There's actually a tiny watermelon. And I've got a little watermelon right there. Hopefully it makes it. And I do have 7 dust on this, because that's the only thing that's keeping the squash beetles, which are plentiful. Cucumbers, they're doing pretty well. Not as much as I would like. This drought has just slowed down everything, and we try to keep these super watered. He said he watered, but boy, it don't look like it. Maybe he hasn't got back here yet. But so our sunflowers are doing well. They're taller than me. This is a Mexican sunflower, which is it'll just start breaking out into all kinds of flowers and stuff. It's not just one flower. Volunteer flowers. Our elderberries are doing well. If the deer would just leave them alone. We have several of those. And that's about it, I think. I don't think I missed anything. So let me go back. Isn't that pretty? Except for the scarecrow. She's there to keep deer off of the beans. That's just a smorgasbord hanging right there for any deer that wants to come in. And we have these solar-powered spotlights, and they run all night long. And they are 700 lumens, so it looks like a freak show out here, lighting up all these scarecrows at night. All our neighbors know who we are, that's for sure. Alright, well, there you are. And I just wanted to give you an update of what's going on. As you can see, Terry's doing much better. He hasn't started rehab yet, but that's coming up soon. He's got an appointment. When's your rehab? Next week? Rehab is next week? Okay, yeah, he starts cardiac rehab next week. And he's got good reports from all of his doctors and stuff. So we thank you for all your prayers. We are so blessed to be here. And we hope you like and share our videos and tell your friends. There's just two struggling senior citizens trying to make do with what they've got. And y'all take care. Love ya. Bye.